Okay, so I've got an update. This roof framing has turned out to be quite the task, as it always is. Yesterday I was working on this little low slope filler piece here, and then I finally realized that, well, I didn't finally realize, I also did this dormer roof here, the framing for it. You can see what you have to do is come up here and put this beam in. You double these two rafters that are on each side of the dormer roof, and then that allows you to support this whole dormer by having a beam across here. It looks a little redundant because these rafters are broken, but you have to do that because if you're going to leave it open underneath and there's no wall supporting it, oops, got some of my rafter, didn't I? Then you have to have this, and it's kind of funky. You end up having to fur down your rafters to take care of these beam sizes, but honestly this beam doesn't have to be that big because I had copied an LVL that I was using for another beam, so it can be 2 by 12 instead of a LVL, a 16-inch LVL that I had for something else I was using. But anyway, that's kind of how that works. And what that does is it allows you a place to stop your ridge, and where this intersects is where you put that beam, and then you can run your valley rafters up like that and cut your rafters into it. And then you just get creative with your decking when you start decking. But this video is about this Porte-cochère, or some parts of Tennessee we call it a carport, but if you want to be fancy, you can call it a Porte-cochère. And I realized I probably should have checked my video, see if it's working here. I should have shown more of this, but I was really just trying to go through with the concept of it because we don't really have much to go by, but the concept I'm using is that you want a low profile carport. Like, you don't want a big gigantic roof on your carport. You know, you want the main roof of the house to be the feature. So if it was me, and I'm going to send this to the owner, I'm going to let him look at it. Well, he's looking at this video hopefully, but I'll also send him the SketchUp file. And the idea is just to have a low slope. This would be like a 612 or even a 412, which would make it even lower because it's a 612 right now. I think a 612 looks nice. But you would just have, you know, a simple hip with these Dutch gables on it or something like that. Just something simple but nice. And then you'd have this really low slope connector. And I really don't have this fixed. This is just a conceptual thing to show how it could step down. You know, and this is really rough here, these steps and all this. This is just a really rough idea. But the idea would be that you would have these, let me copy one of these columns out of this block. And I'm going to make this its own. I'm going to make it unique because I think what's going to happen is these columns will end up being their own thing, and you'd probably end up like doing that, something like that, because you got to deal with this roof changing. So actually looks like it's going to have to go more. Let's grab us a construction line. Yeah, I guess it is going to have to go more towards this way. So maybe what it is that this goes here, and that's good because that'll help box in these stairs like that. And then this, the reason I made this its own, and then it'll go in some too. Like if I bring this over, oops, bring me a construction line. Whoop. It would be moved in probably. And see, these columns probably need to be a little bit smaller because I can see now that's kind of huge. So let me downsize it a little bit. Let's see if I can just take it down. Say 80%, 0.8. And again, this is just concept, so that's probably too much. Got kind of small there, didn't it? Let's go down 0.9, 10%, and then you'd have to, you know, let's get rid of this. Then you'd have some kind of beam under here. Right now I'm just floating ideas out here, so I don't have a beam or anything, but this column would come up. Let's see if that's 2'10", it would be probably 1'10". Well, shoot. Let's put ourselves a reference line on here. There we go. And then you'd have a beam as a part of this. But I don't want to get too far because I've already spent a lot of time on this, and if he doesn't like it, it's kind of a gamble. So you see how I have a beam on this one. You'd have a beam also under here that went back and tied in, and the elevation is just like up in the air for this. It would be, this roof might need to be a little bit taller, like be raised up a little bit so that it doesn't interfere. Like I might even raise it up a foot. You know, 12 inches, where it's not, where it seems kind of isolated and it's by itself on either roof. And see, this carport, the porte-cochère steps down and from the house. So you want the roof to kind of be its own thing, independent of this and independent of this, but also when you're looking at it, you know, you want it to kind of make sense. So you might have a, I think now what needs to happen is maybe these columns need to be maybe even rotated. And see, this is another thing that has to be just kind of decided if I can keep from getting inside the building with my view. Copy that one and then come over here and come back. We'll see now. This one's going to have to come back even farther. So there's some details that have to be worked out on these, on this stuff. And then you'd have columns. You'd have matching columns up here. So you might even have these. And you might say, well, that's a lot. Well, yeah, but you got to start off with oops, I didn't mean to copy that. I meant to hold my shift key to line it up with that. But you see, all this, that's the whole point of this schematic phase, is to say, wow, that's a, you know, is that an overkill of columns or what, you know? And actually, these columns can be, they can be spread out. They don't have to be, like this edge could be lined up with that, and this other edge could be lined up like that. Yeah, that would probably be better, like that. And then these, as a matter of fact, I'm going to make this another unique because what I want to do here is that these would be, let's see, I just brought up an issue here. Is that these need to be kind of looking like they're supporting. I need to take that down. Let's see, hold my shift key. Now I can go back up and is that right? Yeah, they need to be on that elevation right there. But it could be that I'm going to delete that one because I want to make it the same as this one. It could be that that is moved out on that plane, or like moved out to here somewhere, and then it's built kind of half and half, which I've seen this style before. Where it comes down all the way to here. You know. And this will all be like stone. Like that. And then you'd have another one. Now, the nice thing about these being components is that when I get ready to when he says, no, I want it like this, I can just edit. Like this is one style of column, this is one column, and this is another one. So you see. And what I'll do is I'll go back in and put the beam in here, and I just want to get this kind of past the conceptual before I spend 2 days doing a framing plan on this. This is kind of the schematic look of it, and get it past that, and then I would go back and work out the details like I do on this. But I'm missing the shoot today. I really was going to go to IREC Vet 88 shoot, and but Alex was going to be home this weekend, and I needed to work on this, and so, but it's I'll make that my thumbnail right there. But you got to do what you got to do, right? So that's what I'm doing. Okay, well, this is just an update video, and I don't have any comments, so no questions to answer. So I'm going to send this to Johnny and see what he thinks. Thanks for watching.